Well, I don't think I'm cool, dude.
But
I think.
which one of us three would have Skywalker as their last name?
No thanks.
Which one of us three? None of us.
Weren't you just listening, Nymph? None of us.
No, absolutely not. No, it's a small world in a galaxy far, far away.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I'd be a Kenobi. I'd happily be a Kenobi.
Yeah, sure. Man, that's
I've even
still
got the.
after
I've even got the. Hello there. Down.
after episode 2. That's still the show I want to have them make. Is the like investigation, like crime kind of private
the
eye.
Jedi cops on Coruscant story.
CSI,
Yeah, like that's the sort of
Coruscant.
stuff I want. Like,
And they do like 4 episodes of that in the Clone Wars show, but 4 episodes is not a series.
No.
It's not a series make, you know?
yeah,
Here, I'll be right back.
Like, give me the bureaucratic, like, conversion of everybody who's trying to deal with the changing of the hands of the Republic to the Empire.
right.
Because that's where Andor literally at the very in like a flashback scene, Andor has that in there, where it's
Mm.
like, give me the whole rundown. Let me see like the people who are like don't like this new Empire thing, but they're gonna get killed if they say anything kind of situation.
Also, like,
Show me some hope. Rebellions are built on hope, so on and so forth. Tagline, etc.
I wish that more shows were okay with things being a little bit boring. Like, and I know part of it is like because every show is only 8 episodes now, and each episode costs like $350 million. Like, when you don't have 25 episode seasons anymore, you can't have that like everybody got
The slow
snowed
burn.
in and they're stuck in the house. Whoa.
The ball episodes.
Yeah. Or like it's so hot this summer. That's the episode. Like it's you don't have time for that. It's just like espionage. Let's go.
Like the ironic thing is like I think right now I'm watching 2 shows which are very good examples of that. I'm watching Supernatural,
Mhm.
which has its hit and miss episodes, but it does do a good job sometimes of just being like, yeah, this is just a random episode. We're not even going to talk about
Yep.
this in the
It's just
future.
a stupid
Like,
comedy one.
Yeah.
we're going to throw
This
this
is the
one in
beach
here.
episode.
And like, you point a show to me that's slower than Justified.
Oh,
There
for
ain't
sure.
no show slower than Justified. That
No.
thing moves at a crawl, but thanks to the performance and the writing, it grips your attention so much.
Mm-hmm. Man, Justified was great.
I love that show. It's such a good show.
So good. All right, are you guys ready to get started?
Sure. Don't forget to mention Game Club was delayed by a week at the start of the episode, please, and thank you, so I don't have to remember.
Thank you. Nim got so upset about it, he's just leaving.
Apparently I didn't shut my door all the way and the dog tried to walk in.
Oh, what are you guys doing
Anyway.
in here?
That'll do it.
Exactly. All right, I'm ready to go.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast, aka TVGP. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer
Hello, Governor.
and the Nymph.
All right, all right.
No, get. If you want to hear the genesis of that, you can check it out over at patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
Listen to our Outcast this week. We talk a lot about movie series we kind of love and hate and are hopeful for, and maybe cautiously optimistic for, especially on the heels of Dune Prophecy about to come out. So
Yes.
check
Go
that.
listen to Critical Misses season 30, 29, 30, something like that. Whatever the Dune one is. Do a
Yeah.
search in your feed for the word Dune. You'll find it.
You want some 5-star runtimes? That season, the season's chock full. of them.
Dune demands 5-star run
It does.
times, no matter what.
Yes.
Mhm.
So that the Outcast over there, that's the exclusive uncensored episode we have every week, where we're just kind of talking about everything other than video games that's going on in our lives. You also get early access to Critical Misses and We Work Like It. You get exclusive access to the Critical at the $5 tier or higher. Almost forgot to mention Fun for a $5 there. Then you get exclusive access to the Critical Misses production meeting. We're sort of talking about it's a real fly on the wall sort of episode where it's like, how does this How did this season
Hold on.
get picked? Yeah.
This road is closed. Let's take a sharp left.
That's exactly. That's very much those episodes. And then you get access to the Wayward Sons, which is a supernatural TV show watchcast that Moon and the Nymph are going through.
Yes. Which I apparently call the Midnight Suns.
That's right. Yes. Sometimes,
Yeah,
why not?
Yeah.
Don't worry. He still confuses the brothers. Don't worry about it. We're 3 seasons in, and he still keeps calling them the wrong names.
Yeah, I think of the most recent one we did, I still flipped them one time.
That's right. Your dog is very upset in the background about you confusing the brothers. Anyways, all of that and more, patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
Quick note here, a production note. We were supposed to have an episode out for our game club, our final game club episode of the year, before we do our kind of yearly wrap-up episode for Life is Strange Double Exposure. Turns out that game is as long as the other Life is Strange games, and this is a busy time of year, so we've pushed it back by a week. So that will be out next week. Listen for that episode, and then coming next month we'll be doing our Game Club of the Year episode where we rank all of the episodes. Definitely not going to be a hard one this year. We played a lot of really great stuff this year, so it's going to be an exceptional challenge.
I cannot remember what we played, so I don't know what the stinker was this year.
There you go. Well, you can reference my handy dandy cheat sheet that I sent you guys of all of the games. Because there were a couple in there where I'm like, oh yeah, right, we played Botany Manor this year. Yeah, that game was all right. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, FYI, that's just coming next week. It'll be worth it. I promise. We'll have a good combo about that. Also, want to just do a quick mention. We'll talk about it during the Game Club episode. We're gonna spoil every single Life is Strange game. If you haven't played any of the other ones, just don't even start that episode. It's not. We're the spoilers are going to be flying pretty quickly on that one. So check that out next week. All right, Moon, what have you been playing this past week?
Basically nothing.
Okay.
I've done most of the things I've played this week have been the Game Club game.
Ditto.
Time is valuable. I don't have enough of it.
Yeah.
And I've been playing a little bit of the Wii roguelike game.
Ditto.
Other than that, it's the two you might expect. Well, one you definitely expect. Katamari Damacy, don't even pull up a video, Boston. I'm literally just doing it level a day. Nice, relaxing, 6 minutes, level a day kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you've got 3 levels, not 2 levels today. Ooh, a little nice little treat for myself.
Yeah.
It's Katamari. It's fun. You've heard me talk about this enough. The other thing I'm playing is Control.
Yeah.
Because that game is like 70 gigs, and I need hard drive space back. Like at a premium, I need it back like now.
Yep.
Because there is too many games coming out. See later in the episode for a Game Pass game which I desperately want to play but need hard drive space to do so. I think I mentioned it previously. I did beat the main story of the game.
Okay.
So now I'm tying up the loose ends because I didn't do enough exploring or like side missions. So I just finished all of Langston's like escapees from the containment sector, like the flamingo and all that stuff. I hate Langston like with a passion.
Yeah,
I think he's one of my most hated people in that game. He's he's smarmy, but not in a good way.
Yeah,
if that's possible, which I believe it is. Don't like him.
He's certainly not the worst video game villain of all time. That's Ted Faro. Screw you, Ted Faro. You're the worst.
Wait, who's he from? What's he from?
Horizon. The Horizon games. Ted Faro's the worst.
I've never played those, so I don't know. Although, ironically enough, I did wishlist that today on my Steam.
There you go.
Because I rememred it's on PC now, and I have a PC that
PC version is supposed to be very good.
Should be able to run it.
Yeah.
It's the upgraded version too.
Oh, nice.
Spoiler alert, I don't have to pay the extra $20 for the upgraded version like you idiots do.
Hey, I'm not playing that game again. I played through that once.
Yeah,
I'm good.
True. Yeah, I did all of Langston's stuff. I did the super secret hidden section in the containment sector, which you need to talk to that one dude to rescue his friend, and then you have to go back and face the anchor. For those of you who
Oh,
can't remember
yeah.
the anchor, that's the giant ball that spins in 4 quadrants and spits out clocks at you.
That was a fun one.
That was an annoying one,
Mm.
is what that was.
It was fun walking into a section that was just filled with wall clocks for
Oh, yeah.
no reason until you figured out what was
Mhm.
going on.
Yep. I do have the... I'm pretty sure this is a mission you can get a lot earlier, but I completely got the mold problem.
Yeah, when I played that, I did that one super late too, because I'm like, well, I'm not dealing with anything down there right now. I got bigger things to deal with.
Yep. So I just went and spoke to the woman who's down there for the first time at the end of the game, and it's like all of the dialogue options are based on Jesse being the director permanently now, rather than her not being the director at the moment. So I've skipped all of that dialogue sequence. I saved it right at that point and stopped playing so I could come and record, because I'm close. I just want to get the game done. It's 1500 gamer score now though, because it does have the DLC in it, so that means I have the Foundation, the Dark Place, and the Jukebox DLCs all to mess around with.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to those, but I will do the main game first.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Oh, I've got the worst mission in the game.
Which one?
It's a side mission, and it's the very worst mission in the entire game.
It's not the one where you keep fighting that fridge, right?
No.
Oh.
It's the find Mr. Tomasi again mission.
Oh.
There we go.
That boss fight is so hard. Oh my god. That's the only part of that game on normal difficulty I struggled with.
I don't know. Yeah. When you brought up the fridge, I was like, yeah, that did suck. And then you bring up Tomasi, and I'm like, nope, that did suck more.
That's the worst one. Yep.
Because it's also that battle where, like, you can go up top and do a fair bit of damage, but he summons those weird invisible ghost things that just appear to do that melee attack, and it takes like 50% of your health off.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, I could do without this right now, please and thank you.
Yeah.
So I had that. I did try and face him once. I got absolutely wrecked. So I went and did all of the other side missions in the hope that, I can get some more progress on my abilities and hopefully beat him when I go back to him eventually. I love Control. I love how the game looks. I'm even playing it on performance mode. Not performance mode, quality mode.
Get that ray tracing. And
there was like literally zero hitches, zero issues, zero frame stuttering. Like,
nice.
The game is being, my assumption is the game is being patched to not perfection, but pretty close to it at this point, because I'm getting all of those glorious reflections when you walk past glass and you're like, wait, who's that? Oh, wait, it's just me. Never mind. That's just my reflection.
Just me. I'm Jesse.
There's way too many glass panes in this building.
Like, just the reflection in general off like the marble flooring and walls and stuff like that. And then you find out it is an enemy that you just happen to overlook.
Yeah. And then you get the thing as well where when the hiss die, they do that weird smoke effect. That looks so beautiful with like all of the ray tracing and everything turned on. It's like, yeah, Control's really good, dude.
Yeah.
Like, really good. And I have Alan Wake sitting there waiting to be played. 2, I should be specific.
Okay.
I have 2. I bought it the day it came out, which I'm pretty sure was this time last year. And still haven't touched it.
I really got to get to that game.
Me too.
I'm excited for it.
It's funny because I didn't realize how much I missed Alan Wake until I was walking through the thing, and then it did the Alan Wake DLC thing where Alan starts talking in Control. And I was like, man, I miss Alan Wake.
I love you, Alan Wake.
I was just gonna buy it when it came out physically and just haven't gotten to it.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And also I think the DLC is all out for Alan Wake now too. So
it is, yeah. The
Alan
Lake
Wake
House
2
was
also.
the last one. Yeah.
So it sounds like 2025.
It's the year of Alan
Wake 2.
Let's go.
Yeah, baby. 100%.
Alan Wake's so big this year.
Especially if Fire Team, whatever it is, Firebreak.
I don't remember what they're calling it.
The 3-person control-based shoot 'em up comes out. Like, yes, Give me that.
Yes.
Nom, 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 nom,
I
nom,
will
nom,
play that.
Nom, 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 nom,
For
nom.
sure.
I found a remedy to my woes. Nom, 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 nom.
Boo!
Hey, that was great, and you can't deny it.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, I love Control. I love these games. And you know what? They're working on a remaster for Max Payne 1 and 2.
That's right.
100% in for that too.
Yep.
Cannot wait.
Yeah.
I love Remedy. I'm a huge Remedy fanboy, and that's a problem apparently.
It's not a problem.
Control is great. That's all I've been playing. Them take it away. Stop me from talking about Anderson and everybody else.
All right. Well, I'm actually starting out with some really big news that's video game related.
Okay.
You got a poll.
No, I just wanted to announce that I finally hit 100,000 Xbox achievements.
That's right.
And as far as I'm aware, none of you have ever brought this up or on the show when this happened to you. I am the only one. You plebes can bow before me.
That's right. I don't even know what my score is.
Never talked about my gamer score ever.
No, definitely not.
Not
it's
a single
closely
time.
guarded secret.
But no,
my account is private for a reason. Thank you very much.
That was I didn't even realize it until I believe it was my son or my daughter had pointed it out to me. He's like, "Oh, you're pretty close to hitting 100,000." I was like, "I am." And then when I looked at it, I was at like 99,999. I was like, "Oh, I should take a picture of that." So,
yep.
And then of course everyone comes out of the woodwork. Well, that's really going to bother you that you've got that 9 at the end there. I'm like, nope, that doesn't faze me at all.
Yeah.
It makes everyone else angry, and I don't care.
I'm trying to look up
these days.
My score here. 120,179. I had no idea it was that high.
There you go. So
that's because the 360 was your platform of choice, Boston. That's why it's that high.
That's true.
Dude, I played the 360 more than I did the PS3.
Apparently not enough.
Partially because the PS3 was so stupid expensive back then.
Oh man.
But yeah,
real.
It was just achievements have never been achievements, trophies, whatever have never really been my thing. So I just don't care. I did. Hey, I got like the hard difficulty achievement, or was it the veteran difficulty achievement for Modern Warfare? Which was the one that everyone absolutely hated getting, and I hated getting it too. And I'm pretty positive that's the achievement that just made me say, you know what? Screw achievements. I don't care.
I'm good.
Honestly, I wouldn't blame you because that plane level on that difficulty is the stupidest thing.
That plane level was exactly what was screwing me over on that achievement. But I got it. Yeah.
Everybody. They do the main campaign fine, and then they get to that plane level, and it's like, no, you need to be frame perfect, throwing grenades around corners before you even see what's there. Like, it's ridiculous.
The funny thing is, I've heard that the since we're off on a tangent, that the World at War Platinum is the hardest one because there's one level where there's just grenades everywhere coming at you, and you just have to run and pray, and that's all you can do.
World at War was the Call of Duty game where they introduced you're going to crouch behind cover. Now the enemies are just going to fill you full of grenades, and you can't throw them back fast enough. So it's the game where you have to make forward progress constantly to hit checkpoints.
Getting shot at,
right.
And they also have a wonderful habit of checkpointing you right as you die.
Yep.
Oh boy.
So if you were surrounded by grenades when you died, guess what? When you come back, you're surrounded by grenades. So fun times. But anyway, less achievement story related stuff. I have completed Metaphor ReFantazio this week.
Oh, nice.
My playtime was at 73 hours and 23 minutes.
Oh, you're speeding through it.
Yeah, I did a ton of grinding, especially since there's an achievement a trophy for beating the hardest boss. And all you have to do is just ignore certain things in the final dungeon, and you are given the opportunity to fight the harder version of a final boss.
Oh, okay.
Boy, did that fight suck. I have not had to use items as much as I did in that fight as I have.
Is it
like the
is it
rest
ultimate weapon bad?
No, ultimate weapon is a walk in the park compared to this stupid boss. So, I'm not going to ruin anything story-wise. I'm just going to talk about very basic game mechanics going up against this boss. This boss does not have a weakness at all.
Okay.
So you do eventually get a job that allows you to add a weakness or put a weakness onto an enemy, and that works on this boss. So you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that this guy starts out with like 8 turns when it's his turn.
Excuse me?
Yeah, and then as a bigger screw job on his last turn can decide to add 4 additional turns onto his turn. So you've only got the 4, and there are skills that it can use where when it becomes your turn, you only have 1 turn.
Oh, for your whole
character
party?
Action. Yeah, for all 4 characters, you have 1 action.
Yeesh.
So, yeah, this boss sucked.
Yeah.
A lot of item usage, lot of cheesing certain weaknesses and effects. Using certain spells that would bring down its attack and its defense and its evade. I got to a point where I think it happened twice, where I had 1 character alive at like 1 HP.
Oh boy.
And had to rebuild from there. And I did not fail the encounter. I successfully completed the encounter, but my gosh, was it just... It was a slog. So that's just... When you go through the final dungeon, there's certain things that get pointed out that you can do that will depreciate the power of the final boss.
Right.
And I believe there's a trophy for that as well. But I was like, I'm playing an Atlas game. Like, let's see what the hardest boss in the...
Yeah.
And the crap thing is, looking this up after I got into New Game Plus, that's not even the hardest boss.
Oh,
the
great.
hardest boss is in New Game Plus.
Oh, that old chestnut. Sure.
Because this boss, everything that I was reading online was like, you need to be level 70 at least to try to take on this boss. I was level 90, and I was still having problems.
Jeez.
This hidden boss that you can get in New Game Plus is also level 90.
Oh boy.
So there's that to look forward to.
I'll be right back. Keep going.
Yeah. So once I've gone through and beaten that game, I did unlock New Game Plus. New Game Plus brings back everything.
I was going to say, what's the important information here? What's the carryover?
Yeah, so the carryover is you get all the archetypes that you've unlocked, you keep. Your money and your mag that you use for unlocking and gaining skills from your archetypes, you keep all of that. All items, except for key items, you keep. And all weapons, armor, all that fun stuff, all consumables, that's all yours to keep. It seems like the only thing that gets reset is your actual character levels and key items. That's it.
Okay, so you can't go in at like level 50 and get to level 90.
Correct. So, and you can also choose your difficulty when you do New Game Plus. So if you beat it on story mode, you can bump it up. You unlock, I forget what the hardest difficulty is now, because hard mode is the first thing you can do on a fresh New Game play. But on a New Game Plus, there was like another mode that unlocks after hard mode that you can start on as well if you wanted to with your New Game Plus save. I don't know why you would want to torture yourself that way, but it's there if you want it. The game is plenty hard on its own without you needing to do this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, you bring back pretty much everything you need for New Game Plus. I will say I was talking with Musum a little bit on Discord. There are 2 places where you can grind. One of the pillars that you eventually get to mid-game is a good place to grind if you're looking for levels or to grind out archetypes experience. Eventually, when you get further into the game, something happens that makes those pillars worth grinding at again. So you can kind of do some end-game grinding there as well. The final dungeon is actually a really good place to grind too. So you don't have to do all this max level grinding stuff if you don't want to. You can wait until you get closer to the end of the game, start grinding there. I will also say, though, however, there is a hero trial that you can do, which requires you to fight 3 different dragons and then a final abomination. That fight sucked as well. So just throwing it out there, I did that as well.
It's just Atlas boss fights all the way down.
Yeah, And it gets you some pretty good gear. And like the gear that I got from that hero trial, I'm pretty positive helped me get through the final like souped up version boss. But my gosh, man, it's just a lot of grinding you have to do. Yeah. So I had a ton of fun though. I honestly genuinely hope they do a sequel in this universe. So
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I was going to say, whatever happened to the good old mirror matches?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Here is a shadow version of your squad. Do your worst.
Yeah, that was just Persona 4.
So
Legend of Zelda did it too.
There's not a whole party one, but I guess slight spoilers. You do kind of get a main character shadow fight.
That's fun.
Kind of.
Moon, you bring up a good point. That was always the best ones of like, you got to the bottom of this 250 floor dungeon. Who do you fight? It's you. But you have red eyes.
Yeah,
it's just
based on all of your gear and all of your skills that you've unlocked, and
it's so difficult.
That always felt like the biggest screw job ever. So, but yeah, I absolutely I think I enjoyed this a little bit more than I did Persona 5.
Nice.
And I think that's mostly just because of the world lore and aesthetic and where you're at. Like, you're not high schoolers trying to save the world. Like, you're adults trying to save the world kind of thing. And I don't mind Persona games at all. It's just I'm going on 40. I don't care about your high school problems. I don't care that you think homework sucks. Guess what? Real life sucks.
Well, it's also like from a company like Atlas, we want to see different stuff. Like, I'm as excited about Persona 6 as anyone else is when it comes out. But I want to see them do other stuff. Like, I love Persona, I love SMT, I love a lot of their series, but I do want to see them continue to make new stuff. And I know people will say, like, yeah, but isn't this kind of like Persona? Yeah, but it's kind of an evolution of a bunch of the different kind of series they've been making and taking a lot of elements of those that they have popularized and kind of evolving all of that stuff and making it one cool game.
I do. Something that is missing from this compared to Persona is there is not a chance to develop a relationship with a character. Like, you can develop your relationship, I guess, like your social skill, whatever, your S levels, whatever, I forget what they actually call them in this game, but you can't decide, okay, I'm going to make this person my boyfriend, girlfriend, lover, whatever, in this game. There is no option for that whatsoever, which is fine. But I would kind of like to see that if they do a sequel in this manner, at least a little bit. Like, it doesn't even have to be forced. Like, you don't have to make, like, your 9th level with this character the one where you enter a relationship with them. But if it's an option, that would be cool.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I had an absolute blast with this game. I always felt like I was doing that 15 minutes, 15 hours, whatever, of, okay, just one more. Okay, we're here. Let's do one more thing.
A little bit further in this dungeon.
So, Metaphor ReFantazio, if there is a demo out that you can still play on all platforms it's available on, if it sounds interesting, if anything I have said, Boston has said, or any other podcast you've listened to has kind of sparked an interest, download the demo. It's a pretty lengthy demo.
Oh, yeah.
It should give you a pretty good idea. Yeah,
it's like 3 to 5 hours, depending on how fast you go through it.
Yeah, so it should give you a pretty... Yep.
Yes, it does carry over. Yes.
It should give you an idea if you actually want to spend the money on the game or not. So I would suggest going that route. Outside of that, once I beat Metaphor, I did something weird and bought Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Okay.
Yeah, it's normally not us.
No.
Or me, but, you know, I've played these before.
People have been talking about this, and it makes me want to play the campaign. I'm not going to lie, but
dude, I need to
hard drive spaces is a premium.
Let me pull up a video. Not for you guys, but... So, the biggest problem for me, because I had, like, Rob had reached out to me and said, hey, I heard you talk about it a podcast forever ago, if anyone had any thoughts on the campaign. And he told me, dude, it's great. You know, you should play it.
I've heard that too. People are saying, like, hey, this is...
The campaign is meant to be really good.
Yeah, like, if you haven't played any of the campaigns recently, this would be the one to check out.
Yeah.
I think this is the Raven as well, with
Yes.
the quote-unquote lesser of the dev team.
Yep.
So imagine my surprise, which I'm sure you guys are about to have too, when I try to find information on, hey, what's different on Black Ops 6 compared to, any Call of Duty? Because I haven't played one since 2020 when Modern Warfare got re-released.
Well, I'm sure there's a deluge of AI-written articles that can tell you all about.
Oh my god!
Players are loving the new Call of Duty.
Crying about this game and how much it sucks and how bad it is and blah blah blah.
I loved last year's game so much better.
I could not find anything for the longest time, and then I'm going to give this guy credit. I don't know anything about him. I'm just going to throw that out there. But Stone Mountain 64 on YouTube wandered onto his video, and he had a very smart, concise, kind of breakdown of, hey, what's different with this Call of Duty compared to last year and the year before, kind of thing. And dude was very good about breaking down, hey, this probably isn't going to be everybody's bag. This is what I liked about it. This is what I didn't like about it. And was not the, hey, dude, yo, bro, welcome to channel 69 Weeb, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Dude was just, he put out the information there. And I was like, cool, this is the exact kind of video I'm looking for as someone who hasn't played a Call of Duty game in years. I'm like, hey, why is this game, the brand new, better than last year or not, or what have you?
Right.
And so I bought it based off of him and Rob and a couple other people reaching out to me. And I'm going to say I'm not that far into the campaign. I just completed the Cradle. And I am on the in-between mission that's called the Rook and Reconciliation.
Okay.
I don't know where that is. I'm sure anyone who's played the games can figure that out.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Did you say the level was called the Rook and the Reconciliation?
Yeah, you are correct.
Is that a quick shade / nod to Microsoft? Because the Truth and Reconciliation is the second Halo level.
Oh, there you go.
No, this is pretty far into it. I am several levels into this, so it's not the second one at least. But so the last couple of missions I have done, all the way up until a certain point, they have been the normal Call of Duty, hey, you're at point A, you need to be at point B, follow this hallway. And there's some heights that you can get to off and on depending on the level that you can use to progress through. The last big one that I did was the meeting with Congressman Bill Clinton. Sorry, I could not think of his last name for a second. So you are meeting Bill Clinton because this game takes place in late 80s, early 90s. Early 90s, just as Desert Storm is kicking off. And there's a whole side mission that you're doing, which it doesn't involve shooting until you get to the end of it, which is new to me for Call of Duty. Apparently, it's been a thing for a little bit, where you're just kind of getting information, and you're trying to work this crowd and this, these certain people, so that way you can get a picture of a guy's eyes, so that way you can use it for a retinal scanner that's located somewhere else, kind of thing.
Sure.
Some 007 crap thrown in here. Before I forget, there is a ton of that dude bro Call of Duty stuff for like the first couple of minutes. It's this dude swearing in really stupid, weird ways, and they're trying to be cute and fancy about it. I'm like, dude, just shut up. Like,
right.
That's not funny.
Start shooting stuff. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know what 15-year-old you got this from, but that's not cute. That's not funny. Just shut up, okay? Just give me my gun. I'm gonna go blow something up. But as you continue through this, you have, from my understanding, there are a couple open area maps. I have done one so far.
Okay.
And this one was located in Afghanistan. Or no, I'm sorry, in Iraq, because it's Desert Storm. And you basically get plopped down on a map. You have a quick, short mission that you have to run. And once you've completed that mission, they're like, hey, here is your TAC map, I'm pretty sure they call it, and it's just this computer that you open up, and there are dots throughout this entire region. These are the 3 main objectives you need to complete. Everything else is a side mission. Here's a vehicle, go figure it out.
Okay.
It's like, okay. Jump into a vehicle. You can drive, wherever you want to go. You've got hills and, mountains and stuff that you obviously can't drive over, but there is, it's pretty wide open. It's not huge, but for Call of Duty, it's huge.
Right.
This is like a battlefield map, basically.
It's very much the thing they did with, Gears 4 and 5.
Yep.
Where it was it's not super huge, but you're riding a thing. And
it's something different.
You do some side missions, and they're pretty thin, but like you said, it's something different. It's at least a little bit. They're trying to do something new.
It reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 5, where it's yes, this has been linear before. Here's an open space to just do whatever. You want to stealth this? Go stealth it. You want to go guns a-blazing? Go for it. If you want to do my personal favorite, ambush everything that lives on that map, go for it, which is what I did. The vehicle that you get, it does have health, but it also has an ammo bag on the side for both ammunition and for explosives. So the main mission on this map is you're supposed to be destroying these Scud missile launchers, and you're supposed to do it with C4, but you can do it with any explosive, the high explosive. So I had a C4 that I ran on 2 of them that I blew up, and the third one I just happened to find a rocket launcher on the map in an area that I cleared out. I was like, well, let me see if I can shoot it with this from a distance, and that worked. So I was like, cool, I didn't even have to get close to that one. And then the rest was just me filling out the map and clearing out these little side objectives, which were mostly, hey, here's all these people here. Try to take it out without alerting them, which I then found a silent sniper rifle, and that's what I did for the rest of that map, was just slowly, kill things from a distance, and it was great. You bringing up that keypad on this video has reminded me that there is a mini lock-picking game a la Skyrim, but a lot more easy. You're not... So you still see the face of the keyhole, but just to the right of that, you will see the channels and the tumblers within the lock. And all you have to do with the right stick, you're not having to find a lockpick set or a bobby pin or something. It's just you have to rotate with the right stick until that tunnel for that tumbler highlights in white, and then you just hold it there, and then it will pop it for that tumbler, and then you'll move on to the next tumbler.
Oh, so, interesting.
I'm playing on regular right now. I don't know if that changes based on difficulty or not. But for right now, that's all you do, is you just find the sweet spot, hold it there, and then it'll just pop it, and then you just move on to the next one. And once you've done the last one, it just unlocks it. And in the open area that I had found, or that I had find these in, these were for crates that were holding upgraded versions of weapons that I was running around with, or maybe a weapon that I didn't have, like the silent sniper rifle. There was an upgraded version of that had a different scope and I think a bigger mag capacity on it, that I had found when I unlocked one of the ammo crates. And so I was able to take that with me and complete the map with it. So it's a lot of weird, fun stuff. You, in the Rook mansion, in the Rook section that I am in, there is a mansion that's your home base that you go to in between missions. While you're out on a mission, you're supposed to keep an eye out for money, because that's how you're funding your operation, because you're super Black Ops right now. And, So you can't pull money from your bank accounts because the government's looking out for it. So you got to procure money on site, which means you are robbing from whatever facility you're in, currently invading. You take their money and, you can build a workbench. An equipment bench, a weapons bench, and there was a third thing that you can build that I can't remember off the top of my head. Each one of these, when you buy them and create them, you can now start buying perks for the campaign mission, and they're permanent. So one of the perks you can get is, hey, you can now bring for 200 monies, you can now bring an extra magazine with you. And if you fully upgrade that, you can bring, I think it's +2 magazines with you of ammunition. There's another one where it's this will increase your health by 15%. You max it out and increases your health by 30% kind of thing. Okay. So it's got that upgradability to it that you can choose not to do. You can not upgrade anything and keep running. But I have the magazine, the health, and I have it where my my armor penetration skill is maxed out right now. So that way I deal more damage to armored opponents, which those started showing up really quickly. So that helped out a ton. There are 2 weapons, I think, that you have to buy in the campaign that you can then unlock for multiplayer and Warzone kind of stuff.
Oh, interesting.
But again, you don't have to do that. It's just, it's there if you want to. But the campaign's fine. Like I said, it's a lot of do bro, I only wear my sunglasses in dark buildings kind of stuff.
Right.
I haven't played... Oh boy. I think I only played the original Black Ops campaign.
Oh, okay.
I haven't played 2, 3, 4. I know I've played the multiplayer for 3 and 4 because they were free on like PlayStation Plus, but I have no clue how all of this links together. I'm not that big of a fan for these games. The last Call of Duty I legitimately played a lot of was when they re-released Modern Warfare, the remake, back in 2020 when they did Warzone for that first re-release. So I am not that guy. It's like, you want to talk about the lore of Call of Duty, there is none.
That
according
ain't
to me. You know, yeah, exactly. But I am having I am enjoying the campaign. I am also really enjoying the multiplayer in this game. They have a new control system. It's both in the campaign and the multi-system. They call it omnidirectional.
Okay.
So the way this is different is you do have the slide in this game. You do have the dive in this game. However, in most first-person shooters, when you are walking forward and you click the left stick, you run forward. But if you move too far to the left or backwards, that cancels your sprint, and you're just kind of back to the walking pace.
Right.
In Black Ops, that is not the case.
Oh.
If you hold left stick all the way to the left and click in to run, you start running to the right, while facing forward, or whatever direction you're facing.
Interesting.
You can do that backwards. There's also the dive. You can dive backwards. You can go prone backwards, so that way you're on your back with your gun up and you're pointing down towards your feet, in front of what was in front of you, kind of thing. You can dive backwards and be in that same position, or be prone facing behind you. You can jump prone or drop down for squatting, left, right, whatever. That's the whole omnidirectional system. You can also slide in any direction. I don't know for sure if you can slide backwards, now that I say that out loud. But I know you can definitely slide. If you're running forward and last minute you decide I need to slide right, you can do that, and you can start sliding to the right, even though you were just running forward a moment ago. It takes a moment to get used to.
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, it sounds like there's a bit of a learning curve.
It's actually, so for me, it's not that bad, because my biggest complaint for most first-person shooters is the fact that, yeah, that's cool, I can run forward, but now I need to move to the right, and I'm still shooting the thing in front of me. Why can't I run to the right?
Right.
So mentally, I was already there. I just need to wrap my mind around, oh, hey, I can actually do that now. Like, I don't have to stop and start walking to the right. I can still continue to run to the right or to the left, or, whichever. So it is taking a moment for my mind to catch up with, I really want to do this. Oh, wait, I can actually do this in this game.
Right.
Outside of that, though, it controls like any other first-person shooter. I have not touched the default controls. It is super touchy for me. But since there's so many different systems going on and so many different things that you can adjust within the system, I didn't want to go through and start touching things and mess things up. So everything I am playing with is the default settings right now. I just figured, let me just try to get used to this.
Yeah. And
so far, I have gotten used to it. There are times, especially in multiplayer, where it's like I'll be shooting to the right of a person, and then I'll go to correct, and now I'm shooting to the left of the person. And, oh, there we go. I found center mass. Now let me keep shooting. So I still get that from time to time, because it does feel a lot more twitchy than it has in previous Call of Duty games. There are a ton, especially in the last patch that they put out, there are a ton of options that you can choose to adjust so that you can adjust it to your play style, so that way it's easier for you to adapt to. Just I'm not currently playing a first-person shooter, so I just figured let me just get used to how this one's set up.
Right.
Boys, so this one has the zombies mode. I have not played a zombies mode since the first one released in like 2014. I think it was the first Black Ops game. I have no clue what is supposed to happen, what's going on. There are several people, both in our community and outside of our community, who have been like, hey, I like playing zombies. Let me know when you're on and we can do zombies. And I'm like, cool. Nice. I just want to let you know, I have no clue what we're supposed to be doing in zombies. You do not expect me to come in knowing the breadth and width of Easter eggs.
I can shoot some zombies.
And the lore. Exactly. It's like, I can get my weapon levels up, and that's about the extent of my usefulness right now in zombies. Warzone, the big battle royale version of Call of Duty, that just recently released, I think this past week as well, on the 14th for Black Ops 6.
Oh, okay.
So that version is now out for Black Ops 6. I have not touched that either. I haven't touched it since it first released back in 2020. So I have no clue how the system's going to play with that. I'm just kind of waiting until I get a couple other people online and be like, all right, let's check out whatever people are interested in and let's go from there. But for me personally, I'm just having fun playing the multiplayer.
Nice.
I am still holding my own relatively well. I'm still positive in my kill-death ratio.
There you go.
Which nobody cares. I don't care. I just think it's funny that I ruined a lot of 16-year-olds' weekend this weekend.
Well, and it feels good to know that you can at least go positive. It's like, all right, I can at least hold my own, and I'm not like 2-45. Like nobody was farming you.
Yeah. I actually played Nuketown for the first time this weekend. That Nuketown, Shipment, what was the other one? Hardpoint, the training ground one. All the super tight small levels. I absolutely hate playing because they're just things for you to spam kills on.
Yeah.
It's hard to play domination or search and destroy on those because the first thing everyone does, myself included, is as soon as you get control, you're lobbing grenades and stun grenades and everything everywhere, and you're gonna get kills. That's why I hated those.
Yeah.
I played Nuketown this weekend. I dominated in Nuketown and didn't use grenade. I was running around with a pistol. I was making so many people angry. This is just, what is this called? I had to write it down because they changed the names of all the weapons. They're not the normal names for weapons. What is this stupid pistol called? It's the 9mm PM. I had that and a silencer on it because that was the first thing I unlocked on that pistol. That was it. And I'm running around Nuketown, getting headshots, killing people with this pistol, just being a menace to the absolute nth degree. And when we got back into the lobby, my wife was in here playing something on the computer, and she could hear the lobby on my TV, and it's just who's the a-hole with the pistol in Nuketown and blah, blah,
and you're
blah.
over there like...
Yeah, and I'm like, guys, that was just the standard pistol that you get unlocked opening multiplayer. Like, it had a silencer on it. Like, try harder, I guess. I don't know. I was having the time of my life.
Like, when I used to play multiplayer shooters a lot more than I do, the amount of rage I would get for using certain attachments. Like, one of the Call of Duty games I was playing, I was working towards an achievement, and my preferred gun had, like, the attachment I liked was like 4th on the list, so you had to use the other attachments in order to get the XP to level them up to get the next one.
Yeah.
And I ended up using a night vision scope, and at the end of the round, like 50, I got the last kill, so that was the last kill, like, cam feed was mine with the NVG scope, and the amount of people who just started yelling about it, and I was like, guys, I'm trying to get the attachment after that, and they were like, oh, okay. Like,
yeah, it's like, whatever, man, just shut up.
Yeah.
Like, if you have a problem with me killing you with the standard pistol that everyone starts with, get good.
Yeah,
not my problem.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'm sorry that you're trying to be a tryhard and you're not.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, so, and that was the other thing too. I don't know how, there are daily challenges for multiplayer. I don't know if everyone has the same one or if it's random for every player. But my daily challenge that day was to get 5 headshots with a pistol.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah, I'm gonna run around with a pistol to try to get headshots. If you don't want me to drop 8 rounds into you to kill you with this pistol, get good.
Get out of the way, man.
Yeah. But leading into that, I had been using the XM4, which is the first assault rifle that you unlock. That's been the main thing I had been running. It's fine. I don't have any issues with it. Yesterday, I had a daily where it's like I had to get kills with the SMG. And I'm just like, all right, well, I just unlocked the first SMG that you can get, which they call the C9, which is basically an MP5.
Mm-hmm.
I'll run around with that. I'll get kills with that, so that way I can get the daily. I absolutely love the CP5. Or was it CP9? Whatever I just called it. Yes, or I'm sorry, the C9. That thing shoots, like, it doesn't have any kickback. It's a 9mm, like, SMG, so there's no kickback. So you hold down the trigger, you're pretty much shooting that entire mag into that one spot.
Jeez.
And I have been getting some long shots, just with iron sights. I've been shooting people across the map with this thing and taking them down. Everyone is getting super mad, and I'm just sitting here giggling to myself that this is the best thing ever. So,
game of the year, let's go.
Yeah, so I am having a ton of fun with this game.
Nice.
There are, like I said earlier, there are still tryhards in this game.
Sure.
It's a Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
They're there. There are some weird glitches. I haven't come across anything, but there was a lot of videos that I'd seen online of people shooting walls and then getting kills from people that weren't behind the wall or around the wall. It was just a weird glitch thing. I don't know what's happening there. I've also been getting weird glitches in campaign where it's like the game would just randomly stop working and then kick me out. I don't know what's going on there. So the game's just been weird. But outside of that, even with the tryhards online, both campaign and multiplayer, I am just having an absolute blast with this game. It is the dumbest thing. I've been giggling to myself about the dumb stuff I've done in this game. I've been able to keep a really positive attitude when I've just been getting owned in a match. Like, okay, like in Nuketown, I would not bring a sniper rifle. Right. I absolutely hate using sniper rifles in Call of Duties. There are guys that were getting really good shots with sniper rifles, not even in like long kill zones, just like, I was telling my wife, I saw a guy pop his head through a doorway. I saw the shine to show that somebody was looking down sights, and I knew what was going to happen. And that dude one-shotted me, and I was like, you know what? I couldn't have gotten that. I would have screwed that up so bad.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a ton of fun. Black Ops 6, I don't know if you've been up to date with Call of Duty since it first came out. You may be done with it. I know I was forever ago. That's why I only play these every once in a while. But I am really down to playing. If I have my information in our Discord in LFG, if you see me playing, just shoot me a message. I am just screwing around. I am not doing anything important in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So, and also expect that same attitude with me coming in. There's going to be a ton of swearing. Okay. And I'm not all that great.
And you're there to have fun.
Exactly.
You're not there to be super tryhard.
Expect those two things if you want me to join you in the game.
Yeah.
My second to last-ish game was actually Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain.
Oh, man.
Because that level reminded me so much of MGS5. I was finally like, you know what? That voice has been in the back of my head for long enough, and let me just play this. Let me get a taste.
It's been in the back of your head since your kid started playing the remake.
That's right.
Before they even announced that they were doing a remake. So, backstory to this for me. I have beaten this game. I was at 70-some-odd% completion rate with this game. Lost my save file.
Oh, no. Yeah.
So, the last time the cloud had saved it, 17%. And this was back on the PS3, PS4 maybe?
PS4, yeah.
So over the years, every once in a while, when the wind pushes me in that direction, I jump back into this game and start to rebuild my save file. And the messed up thing, so like I still have all my trophies. I still have like a bunch of the unlocks from when I beat the game too. But oddly enough, I don't have all of them. It's just like it's like the game knows that I've beaten the game.
Right.
I wonder if it's like Resident Evil, where like it will give you them based on your achievements. Like it reads your achievements and then gives you the rewards.
Right.
I don't know. So I've got like 1 or 2 things from beating the game, and then the rest of it, it's like I'm just starting from scratch. So right now, where am I at on this altogether? I was at 40% when I started playing 70, or I'm sorry, when I started playing on Saturday. As of today, I'm at 45%.
Okay.
Boston, you had mentioned that your kid is slowly starting to get into Minecraft, and I was talking about how I don't like the survival aspects, but I love the crafting aspects.
Mm-hmm.
I also really love the gathering aspects in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, the Fulton recovery system, you mean?
Oh my god, dude. This game is just peak. It still looks great. There's only a PS4 version of this game. I'm playing it on the PS5.
Right.
This game still looks absolutely gorgeous. I just unlocked the wormhole technology again for the Fulton recovery system, so now I don't have to worry about things being in a building or having a canopy over it.
Right.
I have Quiet unlocked as my buddy. I still absolutely love using her. I know D-Dog can give you better scouting, but Quiet I enjoy when I have her scout an area as I'm like a couple meters out, and she'll run out there. Yeah, she'll advance out there. She'll scout the area. She'll see everything that she can see that's out there, and she'll start taking people out.
That's the best.
Before you even get there. And I have her.
You can do the suppressor version with her too, right? Where she like puts people to sleep rather than killing them.
Yep. So that's what I'm doing right now. I have the suppressed. What do they call it? Is that the sinful butterfly?
That's something like that, yeah.
Each of her guns have like a specific name, and I think it is Sinful Butterfly. That's the suppressed version of the Tranquilizer Sniper Rifle. But yeah, that is what she's using, because right now I am hunting people for my mother base.
Most dangerous game, eh? I see how it is.
Because you have to have an A+ ranking in something, or else you're just getting a shot to the dome and getting that forever dirt nap.
That's right. Getting kicked right into the ocean. Get out of here.
Yep. So I've started doing that, where it's like I have a bunch of like S triple tier characters and double tier and single tier, and I'm trying to get my level for my individual like security and all that stuff for my mother base and my fob all set up, so that way I can start getting more materials in, and that way I can start getting more GMP, so that way I can start doing more of the crafting.
Right.
It's just an endless loop. I spent all day Saturday running from one side of the Sahara Desert in Africa to the other side of it, and I was picking up every plant, animal, soldier that fit my description, tank. If it was not nailed down, if I could not stick a Fulton recovery system on it, that thing was coming to base with me.
Right.
And I'm just having a lot of dumb fun with this game, because I don't like stealth. I don't necessarily always like going full assault mode. I absolutely enjoy ambushing things, setting mines on a road, putting C4 in certain areas and waiting for conditions
giggling
to be
behind a rock.
Right. Exactly. Just doing all the dumb stuff. My assault rifle, I'm using the AMU4. It has a suppressor on it, the level 2 suppressor. It has the 203 grenade launcher attachment with the hand grip on the bottom, so I have extra control. I've got the extended magazine. I've got the 4x scope on the top of it. Like, this gun is completely kitted out. And then I'm running around also with like the stupid little tranquilizer dart gun,
right.
Like the single shot with the suppressor on it.
Yep.
And I am just having dumb fun. Between this, Quiet has to be so annoyed with me where I'm just like, oh, hey, there's a medical plant over here. I need to go pick this up. Meanwhile, I hear a body drop behind me because I wasn't paying attention.
Quiet's doing all the real work.
Exactly. This has to be the worst escort mission for Quiet
That's right. And
ever.
You're like,
where she's like,
Fultoning
why is this idiot
a snake
going for the
over
20th?
here.
Yeah, he's going for like the 20th African peach. He's
That's
got
right.
a whole box of these. What does he need this one for?
Is he just bringing back a hedgehog? What am I doing?
Yep.
But this game is still the absolute best to play.
That's so good.
I tried to look up what mission. My main missions. I'm on 33 subsistence C2W, and mission 34 extreme backup and back down. Those don't mean anything to me off the top of my head.
Nope.
But those are the main missions that I'm on. I'm just wiping up side missions. I just did. Trying to remember. I think I just did the last 4 that are available to me in the Northern African continent, and now I have to move on to the side missions that are available to me in Iran.
Okay.
That area. And that's all I'm doing. I'm not even looking at doing the mission right now. I'm just having too much fun, just screwing around and causing problems. I took out a gunship with a mortar by accident.
Jeez.
Thank God I did, because that thing was wiping the floor with me. I've just stealing everything in this game is the best thing.
Yep.
Finding out that you can steal vehicles with people in them.
That's right. Yeah.
Because I snuck up on a vehicle, did not know anybody was in it. Wormhole pops up and is like, hey, your vehicle just made it to Mother Base and we have 2 people in the brig. I'm like, where did they come from?
So good.
Collateral damage. So, yeah, that is just fun. If you have never played Phantom Pain, you should check it out.
Yep.
That's all I have to say about that game. It is just absolutely the funnest, dumbest time I've had. My last game, which is going to be a quickie, is just Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. I have an issue with this game, and not like, oh, we play too much of this game. No, right. I have an issue with this game. I have been doing this stupid Lapras event mission since day 1.
Okay.
I have multiples of every card for this stupid event mission, except for the stupid Lapras EX.
Okay.
The event ends tomorrow.
Oh, no.
I am very annoyed.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the game's fine.
Honestly, I still haven't even finished the tutorials for the battle system. All I'm doing is just collecting cards. I'm having a blast.
That's all I've been doing as well. I'm really close to getting another 10 pull. Yeah, I'm just slowly collecting on that. My son had said that there's supposed to be a new event starting towards the end of this month, beginning of next month.
Okay.
I have no clue what that is. Because I'm just really bummed that I've been letting it play in the background this entire time. And I am just not getting that stupid card, and that sucks because I have so many of all the other cards. There's only like 6 cards you can get from this event.
Oh, okay.
And I've got so many extras of all the other cards except for the one card.
Man.
Yeah, outside of that, I just wish there was more ways for you to earn packs to be able to collect cards.
Yeah.
That's it. Waiting 12 hours to be able to unlock a free booster. Cool. So I can do this twice a day and then forget about it. And then it's...
Yeah, and you can use whatever the hourglasses or whatever to open... or reset your timer to open a card pack. I did that for... so I have 300 some of them. I did that for a 10 pull, and I was like, okay, that was fine. I didn't really...
That's the thing. I save them for a 10 pull. Mm-hmm. That way I can at least get something shiny out of it.
Right.
But yeah, what am I at for cards right now? I am currently at, with this load, 456 cards.
Yeah, I'm about
that
half
includes
of that,
duplicates.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm at 230 something or something like that.
Just let me scroll down here. Let's see. I've got 6 Butterfrees, 5 Pikachus, 5 Clefairies, and 7 Mankeys, but no GD Lapras EXs.
Man. rough.
Oh well, it's still a fine game.
Yeah.
Besides, it's just weird percentage stuff, but that's all I've been doing this week.
All right, I here close the loop on Theatrhythm Final Bar Line. I finally platinumed this.
Nice.
What's
your hour count?
Oh,
too long.
No, surprisingly not. I think as I went to go look at it on the PS5 dashboard, so there's gonna be like pause time in there and stuff, so it's gonna be a little bit inflated.
Mm-hmm.
I think it said it was just shy of 50 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
Which is way less than I was really expecting.
For anything with Final Fantasy, the name of it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, especially with how many songs are in this. I only had maybe 15 or 20 songs left after last week. Majority of them went super smoothly. The only one there were two of them that I had trouble with. One of them was a Final Fantasy VII. Oh, what is the Zack spin-off game from PSP?
Crisis Core?
Yes, a Crisis Core one, where you had to defeat 30 enemies in one single playthrough of that song.
Oh, wow.
That was surprisingly harder than I thought, because most of my parties were there to be boss killing and not actual individual unit killing. So that was kind of fun, trying to set up a different party to do that. And then, sort of, maybe appropriately, the very last song I needed before I platinumed it was Final Fantasy VI's Dancing Mad, the very final song. So, sort of unexpectedly, the real hard part of that song, for anyone that doesn't know, Dancing Mad is like a 13 or 17 minute long song. It's obnoxiously long. It's a very good track. So you would expect in a game like this that's celebrating Final Fantasy music that song would be there in its entirety. It's not.
So is it just a short?
It's like 2 minutes. It's one of the shortest tracks in the entire game, which is fine. I get it. Like, I couldn't even imagine having to chart a 17-minute long song. There's some pretty long songs in this game, especially like there are a bunch of medleys and exclusive remixes to this game. But part of what made it so hard is you just needed to get to and beat the boss in the stage. But I think it was Kefka Perfected, I think was the boss's name. But you had to get through 3 additional bosses before that. And the real tough part about it is it was one boss with one tiny little regular enemy with it. So like your party wasn't just focusing on the giant boss, it was splitting its damage between the two.
Yeah.
It wasn't using all of its... Some attacks will only show up or only kick off when a boss shows up on the screen. It kind of wasn't really doing that. So it was just this really difficult challenge of trying to find the right party to get it done. And I eventually managed to raise up, I think it was Rosa from Final Fantasy IV. She had a really early unlock for Stona, which is the anti-stone spell. That was the one that really kind of sealed the deal at that point of, all right, now I have the most uptime to defeat this character. So I still had a lot of a lot of fun. I still have it installed on my PS5 because I think one of the things they do really well when you're looking to just kind of play the game or play some songs, you have that endless world thing I've talked about, but you also have a different mode where it just lists out all the stuff. You hit R2 and it just randomly picks a song. So you can just kind of keep randomly going through, the 400, 500 songs. And when you pick a song and you play it, it actually, on the results screen, it actually gives you 3 additional songs that it recommends. Sometimes it'll be 3 songs from the same game, sometimes it'll be, oh, you played a Chocobo song, here's 3 other Chocobo songs, or it could just be 3 random songs. So it's kind of fun that if you just want to go in and play the game, there's a really good opportunity for you to just kind of keep a playlist rolling, which I think is really cool. So, Final Bar Line, still really good. I like it enough after platinuming it to keep it installed on my PS5 instead of being done with it and be like, God, I cannot wait to get this thing installed and never have to look at it for the rest of my life. So, Final Bar Line is great. Go pick it up. Next up, Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. I only got this yesterday, so I haven't had a whole bunch of time to check it out.
My son's been playing it since Thursday.
Yeah, I didn't realize this game was voice acted, which is a choice to make for a Dragon Quest game overall. It's Square Enix, so of course their finest British voice actors have all shown up for this title. It's also really weird because a lot of the voice acting is pretty inconsistent. You'll have some people voice acted in a scene, you'll switch to another character and they won't have any voice acting at all. So it's weird. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it. Everything else, for better or for worse, it's Dragon Quest III. It opens exactly the same. It has the same creating your party members thing. My party, when I played the Super Famicom version, was a warrior, a healer, and a thief. And this time I wanted to use the brand new class, the Monster Tamer?
Tamer.
Yeah, whatever it's called. So I have a Monster Tamer, healer, and thief this time, because I liked turning a thief into a sage, which I know is probably like heresy at some point. But I don't really care because I'm having fun playing Dragon Quest. I do have to say, Overworld is the same. It's kind of nice having a map in the game, which is really great. There are a ton of quality of life changes in this game. One I really don't like, which I'll get to in a second. But you can turn off almost all of these. Like when you look at your map or you look at your mini-map, it can just put an objective marker on there of like, one of the first things you do in the beginning of the game is just go to the other town on the continent. It's just like, yeah, go to the other town. You open up your map, it has a big like yellow circle around. I think Reeve is the town's name. It's just like, yeah, head up there, which thankfully you can turn off. And there's something else that seemed, just objectives in general. So like when you open up your main menu, it'll say in the upper right hand corner, it'll say like, oh, go find information about the thief's key. Your next step is to go to Reeve. You can turn that off too if you want to keep it sort of similar to the original Dragon Quest III.
Which my son was also showing me. If you shut that off too, there is an option to look at last major narrative.
So that actually existed in the original.
Did it? I couldn't remember if it did or didn't.
Yeah, so in this one, when you push the options button, it will save all of the dialogue that you've recently heard. The original did that automatically, where you could just... I don't remember what the spell was called. I think it was called Recall. And you could upgrade it to recall more stuff. But basically, you could cast that spell, and it would just repeat the last couple of conversations you would have. So if you were stuck out in the world, you could be like, what the hell? What did the king... Where am I supposed to go? Cast that, and your mom would be like, hey, don't forget, you need to go here. And it's like, oh, yeah, right. So it's kind of nice that they have that a little bit more available. The one thing I'd really... This is the dumbest... It's not the dumbest. The thing that they've changed is in all of these games, and I think this happened all the way up until 11, when you use the zoom spell or use a chimera's wing indoors, you hit your head on the ceiling.
And it doesn't work.
And it doesn't work. They removed that in this one. So you can just use it indoors, and the game is very much like, can't you believe how things change? I was like, what the hell is wrong with you? You can't change
my
that.
Dragon Warrior game.
Like, you can't change that. That's ridiculous. Like, I know it sounds like the smallest thing, but like, I feel like if you're gonna keep anything from Dragon Quest, it's that first time you're in like the King's throne room, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna zoom over there, use it, and you hear that big bonk noise, and you just fall back to the ground. It's like, yep, that's really good. That's a really good joke. Of course, I can't use it inside.
Yeah.
So, kind of bummed that that's one of the quality of life things. But some of the other cool quality of life things are, like the original, each individual party member has their own bag of items and equipment and gear and key items and things like that, and then you have your overall kind of shared party like equipment bag. In this one, you can, if another party member has a piece of equipment that you want to equip on your character, like say the main character has a piece of gear that you want to put on your thief, you can just equip in your thief's equipment. You can just pull it straight from the other bag and equip it onto your thief. You don't have to take it from there, transfer it over here, put it on. Like, there's no like juggling around of gear, which I think is really great. I am probably one of the few people that really like this, but in the battle screen, you start when you're fighting with all your party members. You see all of them from behind, and then when you start, you say like, yeah, I want to attack here. I put in all my commands. It zooms in, so just all the enemies are on the screen like it was in the original game. Number of people I've heard saying like, well, I'm not going to pick that up because that's not modern JRPGs. Yeah, cool. This game's 35 years old, so shut up. Like, that's what the Dragon Quest games are. So we're lucky that the enemy animations are still in this game. So far I'm really enjoying it. The majority of my time so far has been getting through the prologue, getting my party up and configured. Thankfully they did have the like personality test at the beginning of the game. Before,
son cheated and went for all female characters because they get an extra all female or type B character types get the extra ability that I can't remember off the top of my head what he called it. But type A's don't get anything
there's
extra.
Like the female characters get there's a personality trait called Vamp that
maybe
like,
that's what it was.
It juices up their stat growth per level up.
Yep.
There's also, my recommendation is for anyone playing this, all of your party members should be female because there are female exclusive armor pieces and there are no male exclusive armor pieces. So it kind of doesn't make sense to run any male main characters. But the majority of my time so far has been getting through all that stuff and then just grinding out in the world. Like, I want a good handful of levels before I really start digging into stuff. So I'm just fighting some slimes and drakies and kind of all the usual stuff out there. I do have to say, the orchestrated soundtrack is really great. Anything we can do to get away from the original soundtrack of the garbage human being who created all the original soundtracks is really great. And so far, all of them is great. The only complaint, though, I have so far is the Super Famicom version of the game. If you let the title screen roll over to the kind of attract mode, there was a battle between Ortega and the dragon in the volcano. I'm not sure how to get that in this version. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm supposed to, or if they're going to play that later or what, but I kind of wanted to see how that looked in the HD2D engine, and I can't figure out how to do that. So
maybe it's a mid game unlock or something.
Yeah, maybe. So it's cool. It's great. It's got all the music. It's got all the sound effects. It's got all the slimes. Everything seems great. So I'll play more. I've played maybe, I don't know, 2 hours, something like that. So not enough to really formulate too much of an opinion. So, but things are good so far. Last game this week, I've been playing Lego Horizon Adventures. I'm never going to remember the title of this game. Please help me. I am trying really hard not to compare this game to the Traveler Tales Lego games, and I am failing at nearly every turn. So be prepared for that to be the case going forward.
I mean, if you didn't know that it wasn't made by that company, you would just assume this was one of theirs. So
I think you would find out pretty quickly, because it's a pretty different game. How do I put this? Not like tonally. It's a very chatty game. Like, you're starting a level, Rost and Aloy are talking for way too long about the setup. Halfway through the level, Rost and Aloy are talking again about a whole bunch of, like, I yearn for the days of the non-voiced Lego games of just pantomiming a bunch of stuff. Alderaan blows up.
It was the best. It was the best.
It really was the best. Like, there is some good stuff in here, though. Like, when Rost gives Aloy the focus for the first time and she puts it on, she's like, this incredible wonder. I've always wondered what it looks like. This must be the most priceless, unique thing on the face of the planet. And then you turn over to Ross and he's like, no, man, I just found like a whole bag of these things. You can just give them to everybody. He like dumps out a whole bag of them. It's like, yeah, that's pretty good. All right, you're still giving the game a bit of business, which is really what I want. But the amount early on in the game, the amount of kind of cutscene and talking there is versus actual gameplay is pretty imbalanced, which I'm a little bit frustrated by, because I think the thing is I loved about the Traveler Tales Lego games is you always get like an opening cutscene of here's the beginning of the movie or the whatever you're playing. It's a movie, but once you get into it, you usually have like a pretty long level, at least for the first one. You're building some stuff, you're going through at least a handful of screens, like you're doing some gameplay business. That's not necessarily the case in this one. A lot of the beginning of the game, like the Horizon games, is teaching you how to kind of hunt the machines. You're still doing the Horizon stuff. You're breaking canisters and antlers off of machines. You're hiding in the taller grass, which is really great because it replaces Aloy's model with just a walking version of the grass. So, like, Aloy's model goes away and you're just moving around as the grass. I'm like, that's a pretty clever way of putting it. I think one of the things that's probably the strangest and one of the things I'm having the hardest time reconciling that this is not a Traveler Tales game is a lot of stuff animates like the Lord and Miller Lego movies rather than the Traveler Tales Lego games. And that's really odd. It's not a bad thing. Like, I love those movies. But I'm really, as you can tell, I'm kind of struggling with, oh, it's another Lego game, let's do this. And it's like, no. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's made by other guys. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, that's okay. And like, you're doing the same thing as you always are. You're collecting studs, you're collecting gold bricks, you're collecting all this stuff. You're rebuilding Mother's Heart. That's kind of your hub area. So it kind of has all of that stuff. It is very fun to hear Ashley Birch come back and voice Aloy in this game, sounding a lot more like her character from Ghost and Molly McGee than Aloy does. She's not the very kind of overly serious Aloy. It's a very it's a very fun version of her, which is, I think they kind of nailed the tone a lot of just, we're gonna have some fun with this media thing. What this is gonna sound a lot like the rant I just went on about Dragon Quest 3 and the Chimera Wing. When you go to build stuff in this Lego game, you hit triangle and it just builds. You don't hold like square or whatever, and it just it goes like tink 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 tink.
Satisfying
yeah,
thing.
Like all the pieces come together. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna build this thing, and just whoop, and the thing just builds. And I'm like, this sounds like a super minor thing, but I feel like that kind of misses one of the things that I loved of the Lego games, is hearing all these bricks landing and like tink 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 and put together, and then the thing came apart. If you let the button go early, the whole thing just fell apart, and you had to go back and either build it again, or, you know, at some of the later games you had like 2 or 3 different things you could build from this one pile of bricks. Like, you don't, I'm hoping you get that later, but like missing some of that is kind of, it feels like the soul of the Traveler Tales games isn't really here. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I am, as someone who really loved all of those games, it is a little bit of a hard thing moving over to this one. So I, again, also haven't played this for a ton because, like Moon, playing a lot of Life is Strange Double Exposure and trying to get that done before Game Club, even still trying to get through that before since we delayed it by a week. But I'm hoping to dive into this, like this and Metaphor, a lot more this upcoming week, because both of those are super cool.
Is stupid good.
Yeah, I really wanted to fire up Dragon Quest 3 at least a little bit to see, like, all right, what really does this look like in motion? I really don't like a lot of the HD 2D games, but I think the art style works really well for this. And I wanted to fire up Horizon Adventures because that's probably going to be a pretty short game. But I really do want to return to Metaphor now that I hopefully have a little bit of time to dive back into it. So we'll see. I'm not sure, but that's all I've been playing this week.
Hang on, you want a live update?
Yes, I would love a live update.
Back to Pokemon. Finally got the stupid Lapras.
Hey, look at that. Live polls. You just had to complain about it, and then it happened.
I guess. Because my God, did this take forever. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
11th hour, Lapras poll. Yeah. All right, that's all I've been playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yep.
I wish there was a way to speed up Auto Battler.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what you're doing. Just let me 3 times this thing, and then you just do what you're gonna do. And
oh, you know, that's the one thing I was surprised. I didn't even talk about it. About Dragon Quest 3 is your party members start off auto battling at the beginning of the game by default.
Oh wow!
And you can set like a tactics of like, I want you to focus on healing, do damage, all rounder, that kind of thing. Because when I started my first fight, I'm like, yeah, I want to attack. These are some slimes. Let's slash them up. And I picked attack, and it just started fighting. And I was like, no, I need to it should be 3 more attacks there. Like I got a 4-person party here. When I went into the tactics menu, it's like, oh yeah, they're all set to automatically fight. And I was like, that's probably gonna be pretty good when I want to just grind.
Yeah.
And like they even have a smart heal in the main menu now, where just you hold triangle and it heals your party members the most effective way possible, which is like that's pretty cool. You got some cool quality of life stuff in here. I gotta go back to Metaphor, but I'll be back. Maybe.
My
probably.
My son has a warrior, a priest, a thief, and the monster tamer, and as of yesterday, just got the boat.
Okay, it's moving pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's playing. It's funny listening to my son talk about like all these RPGs that he needs to get through and play and blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, you come home and you do like an hour's worth of homework and then you have the rest of the night to just
like
faff
4
off and
hours
do
of Dragon
whatever.
Quest.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, shut the hell up.
You don't know how good you have it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait until you can't do that anymore.
Yeah, wait until you have a mortgage, buddy.
But yeah, he's absolutely loving that game. Nice. And after that, he wants to start playing the pixel remasters for Final Fantasy.
Oh yeah, those are good.
I was like, just do whatever. I already gave him the okay to play Final Fantasy Origins, that Souls-like game.
Oh, Sapfo, yeah.
Yes, because it adds that weird twist to the actual story that may or may not be canon. Who knows? I
don't know. I still need to play that. I feel like I'd like that. There's a bunch of songs from that in Theatrhythm, and I was like, man, there's all these Type 0, like Lightning Returns, Sapfo. There's a bunch of games that I haven't played, and I'm like, I should get to patching up some of those. Final Fantasy 15 and 16, some of the smaller ones. I should get around to those.
The Souls game is pretty fun. I haven't been able to do the DLC even though I own it, just because like I have to get my equipment to a certain level.
Oh, right.
Doing it solo is so much of a pain that's not really worth doing.
Oh, sure.
So if you do play that, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
And
we'll souls it up.
Co-op some stuff, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are you guys ready to wrap this up?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of November 18th, 2024. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 comes out on Series consoles and PC. This is Game Pass day and date. I was trying to find out. I was very much having like the COD Blop 6 thing of like, everybody's very excited for this. It sounds very important. What are the
new?
Yeah, like what's the? And it sounds like the biggest thing is like, oh, it has like a complete engine rewrite, which I think sounds pretty interesting.
Wow.
And apparently in some mode, you can get out of the plane and walk around some of the cities. And I was like,
okay,
dang, okay, that sounds pretty. And I know
doing some Driver 2 stuff here.
Yeah, and I had remembered some of the stuff they were talking about before release was one of the biggest issues of the previous game was, hey, this thing is like 250 bajillion petabytes. Can we not do that again? And I think they were talking about doing a bunch of streaming stuff and using some more of that kind of cloud-based technology to bring that installation way down and try to stream more of it. Which,
I was hoping you were not going to say the word cloud.
Cloud. My favorite Final Fantasy 7 protagonist. He's got the hair and the sword.
Honestly, the only Final Fantasy 7 protagonist, dude.
Right. Hey, Tifa is right there, sir.
No. Tifa's a co-star. Cloud is a protagonist.
Gasp. She was a cowgirl.
Tifa's better.
That's right.
I will say, though, this is like one of the few games that, because of all the physics and all the extra things that it is doing, not even talking graphical-wise, just the actual physics. It's like the fact that they're like, yeah, we can probably do some of that with streaming. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious to see, because I appreciate these games from a distance of like, you have recreated an actual plane down to all the fine little details in a way that actual pilots are say like,
don't
yeah, that's the
gaffer
plane.
Tape.
Right, yeah, like well, it's also like pilots are saying like, yeah, that's the plane I fly all the time in real life. I just think that's incredible, and for them just mapping the entirety of the planet. I mean, like, yeah, you just want to land there, cool, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, like seamlessly.
Yeah, it's wild stuff.
And then for people to throw mods on top of this game.
Yeah, like that has to be an incredible
I want the Moz edition. Give me the Mars edition.
That's right.
I almost picked this up when they were like, yeah, and we threw the the Pelican, the Halo Pelican in there. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds dumb enough to be fun to fly.
It took every ounce of my strength to not play it when the Ornithopter was announced.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah. Next up, Stray comes out on the Switch. Is that third-person cat future cyber thing that people seem to really like. I never got around to playing this. I was going to, and then by the time I got around to it, it came off of PS Plus, and I'm like, well, I'll check it out later, and then never really did.
It was pretty fun. It was it was either 8 hours or less than 8 hours. I enjoyed it. My kids started trying it out as well. The only thing that I disliked about it was actually in that scene in the video where you have to run away because you can't fight in this game.
Yeah.
So there's several sections where you're running away from something.
Right.
A horde of something, and it's kind of a pain your first time to try to figure out where you're running to.
Right.
But outside of that, it was a fun, dumb game.
Yeah. Next up, Genshin Impact. Releasing
another
for series consoles.
Dumb game.
That's right. It's finally here on Xbox platforms. I have absolutely no idea why this still wasn't out in the 4 years since it came out on other stuff. I think that was released in 2020. So now it's coming out on Xbox platforms. And if you have never played Genshin Impact before, it has about a bajillion things in it now. When I started playing it originally, it was like, we got one landmass and it's huge. And it's like, now we got like 15. So good luck.
Yeah, that was the thing. It was supposed to have, eventually, every major update was supposed to open up to a new landmass, and there was supposed to be 7 altogether for like each new realm. And after like the 3rd update, I think is where I finally dropped off, 3rd or 4th major update. It was pretty big already.
Yeah.
So
it's still a cool game. I can't keep playing more of it.
A little too much of the gacha, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I played a lot of it without putting in a ton of money into it. After a while, I did start to do the monthly. It was like $4 or whatever, the $5.
I did that too. Yeah.
Yeah, just because I was having so much fun playing it.
It was a pretty good deal too.
Yeah, but after a while, a lot of the in-game stuff kind of got samey, and that's where I started falling off.
Yeah.
But it was pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, give it a shot. It's cool. And last game here, certainly not least, Stalker 2: Heart of Chernobyl comes out on series consoles and PC. Game Pass day and date.
Space. Hard drive space.
This is drive space. Yeah. You didn't need a hard drive space for a Flight Simulator. You needed it for this.
100%. This is the game I needed the space for.
Yeah.
So I haven't had anybody talk about this because I haven't had anybody. I've had the preview events went pretty well. Obviously, it's been delayed until this year because of everything that happened in Ukraine.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, it is a Ukraine developer.
Yep.
Which is funny because I think it should be, because that's where Chernobyl is, which is the inspiration for all of this kind of stuff. I haven't had anybody talking about it. I don't care. I'm going in as blind as I can be. But I did see a social media post from one Rob Zachney today saying, do I play Dragon Age Veilguard or Stalker? That is the fight that I need to have with myself right now.
Rob, to be fair, Rob has been slowly falling off of Dragon Age.
He likes that game a lot, so I'm like, oh, great. There's 2 more games I need to add to my need to play list.
The more people are finishing Veilguard, the more people are really enjoying it. And I'm like, man, I really need to play this game, but I really have to finish Metaphor first, as if not, I'm just not going to finish it.
It's going to be a next year game.
Yeah, ditto.
Which I'm glad. I'm glad I can say that okay, this is a game that I can look forward to playing.
Yeah.
Not I'm going to play it because it's a dumpster fire and I need to see where it's at in a year.
Exactly, yeah.
But have either of you played the original Stalker games?
Nope. I had it on my Steam wish list for the longest time. I took it off my Steam wish list recently because the Xbox now has the old versions on it. And it has the trilogy pack. So I'm like, I will get to them when I get to them, because they're not, surprisingly, on Game Pass. This is.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, I don't know how they hold up now, but they're really good. I really love the Stalker games.
I'm sure they're a kick in the teeth. I'm 100% sure they are.
Yeah, I never played the first one because I know this isn't a series for me. Like I know I'd go into it and not want to meet it on its own terms, which it seems very much like a game you have to, of like, no, this is the way you need to play it, or very much like Phantom Pain we were talking about. Like you have to meet Phantom Pain kind of on its own terms and play it how it's meant to be played. This always seemed like a series like that, where it's like, no, you can't just kind of play it the way you want to. You need to play it in the intended way.
But once it molds you into the way that you need to play it,
right,
that's when you start to have fun with this game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the few horror type games, and I'm like, I really love playing these games.
Yeah,
and I think it's because it has more of that SCP vibe, to it. But yeah. So, one day I'll get to. I'm not allowed to buy anything because the holidays are coming up.
Yeah,
my wife's like, we need ideas for you. So.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, that's all of the releases for this week. We don't really have any big news stories from this week either. So that's the end of our episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Please check all of our social links over at campsite.bio/E1M1.
Ones and numbers.
That gets all the cool social media. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Don't follow us on Twitter. Go follow us on Blue Sky. So I'm doing more posting on Blue Sky over there. Thank you to everybody over the last week or two that's been following us on Blue Sky. Much appreciated.
The migration is real this time, apparently.
Yes, very much so. Don't forget, you can also find us at patreon.com/E1M1.
Those ones are also numbers, funnily enough.
$5 a month, that's a recommended tier. That gets you everything. Anything above and beyond that is greatly appreciated. If you can't support us financially, totally understand. What is appreciated is you going, checking out the YouTube channel, like, comment, subscribe over there. That really does help. Don't forget, we're on a ton of different podcatchers. So Spotify, iHeartRadio, I think, is still out there. We're over on that. I don't think Google has a very good podcatcher right now because they can't keep a product alive to save their lives. So whatever they come out with next and then kill 2 years later, we'll probably be on there as well.
Unceremoniously forget about a week later. And
yeah. And if you can rate and review positively, please, the podcast and wherever you listen to it, if that's possible, that really, really does help, especially on the bigger platforms, because that a lot of it is, when you're listening to a show, it will recommend similar shows. That stuff really, really helps for podcasts like ours. So if you can help us out, that would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next time. Bye.
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 All right. Nimp, what are your titles?
I have Nice Little Treat for Myself. I Hate Langston with a Passion. The Mold Problem. The Fridge Boss. 2025, the year of Alan Wake 2. Remedy to My Woes. Dancing Mad. This next one's a little long. I yearn for the days of non-voiced Lego games. And Bricks Landing and Tink, Tink, Tink.
All right, Moon, what do you have?
Dune Demands, Handy Dandy Cheat Sheet, Find Mr. Tomasi, Year of Alan Wake, Remedy to My Woes, Too Tired to Care, OK Loser, Being a Menace, and Most Dangerous Game.
I have A Nice Little Treat, The Year of Alan Wake, and Remedy to My Woes.
I mean,
check Remedy to My Woes. Have we used that one before?
Let's look. I'm coming up with the legacy of great intention a lot. And he is aware of the loop.
Alright, so we can do the
Brighten your life with my tears. Can't say it, bamboozle.
You know what, guys? We are pretty funny.
We got some pretty good titles here. Yeah, I don't see... We do also have the Turner Valley Gas Plant Resolution Advisory Panel. Guys are killing it at the other TVGP. Oh, that's from December 2007. Interesting.
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that one... I'm okay with that one or the Year of Alan Wake. It sounds like Remedy to my woes. Sounds like it gets your guys'
think it
vote.
edges it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll circle it. Now the thinking begins. I hear the wheels turning. I hear the Lego
I'm ready.
Bricks being placed down.
I'm ready.
Okay. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 891 for November 18th, 2024. Remedy to my woes.
There is always a girl. There is always a lake.
Slather that on with a cold compress.
Moon, did your mic arm break?
100% as he was adjusting it.
While you were looking down.
Incredible.
That's why I started laughing.
Just came out. So
I saw his hand grab it and move it, and then I saw his hand not leave his microphone.
If you were ever wondering, hey, are these guys selling something? Are they influencers? No. We're poor as hell, man. Our stuff's falling apart.
Yeah, we're the best kind of influencers. We're the ones you can afford.
That's right.
Everyman.
Let's go fix our equipment. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening and watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.